I listened to the rain in Tosaka's room. Today we performed a fake physical examination like yesterday. I just took the the medicine Tosaka prepared for me and checked the magic circuit throughout my body. I guess it really is impossible to do any more here, since it'll require a more appropriate environment. I don't care about that, but I don't want to just sit here doing nothing. She told me to move for a while to see the results, but I bet I can still talk. Tosaka, may I? I call out to her, still meditating. Fine. What is it? It's about Saber. I don't know how I should put this, but... Saying that, I realize I haven't thought this through at all. It's not even, what can I do for Saber? I haven't even thought about what I want to do with Saber. Well, I'm just wondering what she wants to do. Come to think of it, she never did anything because she wanted to, right? So... You don't know what Saber's thinking about? No, that's not it. I just don't understand why she's so unselfish. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Well, you're right. The only thing she's done voluntarily is protecting you. It's only natural for a servant to do that, but it's hard to understand when it's so thorough. But that doesn't mean she's totally unselfish, because Saber is protecting you for her own objectives. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the reason she became a servant. I see. Saber's goal is to obtain the Holy Grail, so it's not like she has no objectives. And that Holy Grail will grant the wishes of its possessor. So Saber at least has a wish she wants granted. I don't know what it is, but it's a wish she wants granted even if it means becoming a servant. Surely, the wish must be to save herself. Yeah, for example, she's here in this time, so she can stay here and live a second life with the power of the Holy Grail. No, rather she has to go that far to make up for her sad end. Oh, then this is all so easy. You're weird. Suddenly getting all energetic. Was the conversation that exciting? Yeah, it gave me energy. She wouldn't fight so hard unless it was for that. Because Saber has to fight for her own wishes. I nod to myself. Tosaka must have been shocked by my reaction. Emiya-kun, I'm sorry to interrupt while you're so happy, but you're wrong. Saber wouldn't fight for herself. You know that too, right? Saber isn't like that. She doesn't seek the Holy Grail for her own benefit. What are you basing? That on I can't finish? That's right. Her last moment was a lonely one because she had no wishes for herself, so Saber cannot be seeking her own salvation. But still, I wanted to think that, so I distorted her personality for a moment. The conversation stops. As soon as I start to think about the heavy silence, It's boring, but Archer said the same things as you. Huh? Archer? You mean that Archer? What other Archer would there be, Shiro? Yeah, I asked him what his wish was, too. What do you think he said? It's no good asking me that. I don't know anything about him. As Archer said that we'd eventually be enemies, he made no effort to talk to me or Saber. But still, he was so sarcastic. But I know he wouldn't have a stupid objective. But what is this? What is this one? Thumbnail material? I don't know. You'll laugh when you hear this. When I asked him what his wish was, he said, how about world peace? I don't get it. Why is this funny again? Oh, but hey, nice thumbnail material, so I'm fine with this. I'm fine with something new. I just burst out laughing. Then he got timid and said, I knew you would laugh. Well, there is no meaning in salvation by deeds of others. Let's just call this a funny story. I just thought he became a heroic spirit and got summoned by someone like me because that's the way he is. I see. He didn't look like it, but he was a fine knight. But don't get me wrong, if the Holy Grail will truly grant any wish, permanent world peace is the worst wish ever. It means there's nothing, right? A world without conflict is dead. If things aren't moving, all they do is rot. Huh. Did you say that to Archer as well? I did, and he said that is how the wise think. I feel the same way, but I am still chasing a foolish dream. Well, I asked if he had any other wishes, and he said something like, I do, but it is not a wish to use the Holy Grail on. I shall let you grant your wish in my place. He was so snobbish, right? I bet he was a skirt chaser when he was alive. Huh. I didn't get that impression of him. So what about it? Nothing. I just meant that there are all different kinds of servants. Oh, I see. Well, I think it's a good reference, so it did help me out a bit. Well then, now it's my turn. I'm gonna talk about Saber as well, though. Oh yeah, you were saying this morning that you wanted to talk to me about something. Yeah, it's nothing big, but I'm just wondering about it. Do you know the legend of King Arthur? Yeah, I'm very familiar with it, thanks to this game. Legend of King Arthur. I've had it forced upon me more than enough in the past few days. Shiro knows as well. I know what most people do. Well, I didn't know that King Arthur was actually a girl. Yeah, but sex doesn't matter here. Well, depends on what kind of sex you mean. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Oh god, that's terrible. Even if King Arthur was a girl, it makes no difference to the legend. If King Arthur hid that fact from everyone around her, she would be treated as a man, even if she wasn't one. Fortunately, King Arthur had a magus called Merlin. He was a crossbreed with an incubus, so it must have been a piece of cake for him to disguise King Arthur's sex or to arrange for a child that should have never been born. I bet. So? What concerns me is the discrepancy between the legend and Saber. Emiya-kun, do you know what Excalibur is? Why ask now? Excalibur is the symbol of King Arthur. It's a great sword, a gift from the fairies, that can cut through anything. That's what I thought. For some reason, Tosaka acts like she's won. Did I say something strange? You did, and that means you made the same mistake as King Arthur. If Merlin was here, he'd yell at you for being foolish. Why? The sword in the stone wasn't Excalibur, right? That sword broke. He later received a sword from the Lady of the Lake, and that was Excalibur, right? Yup. When King Arthur received Excalibur, Merlin asked this question. Your Highness, which do you like better, the sword or the sheath? King Arthur answers without hesitation that he likes the sword, but Merlin scolds him. Please make no mistake here, the sword slashes the enemy, but the sheath protects you. As long as you have the sheath on you, you will spill no blood and take no wounds. You should truly value the sheath, not the sword. What is that? What? What is she doing? Is she okay? Tosaka imitates King Arthur and Merlin skillfully. No, Shiro. No. You're pretty into this. So what are you trying to say? You don't understand what I'm told you this much? In other words, King Arthur is immortal. Excalibur is a perfect noble phantasm, both in offense and defense. So really, Saber should heal right away, even if she gets hurt. Tosaka, Saber's wounds have all been healing. That's true, but God, her face, she just gets more and more tsundere as time passes. It's just terrific. That's true, but it seems like her healing comes from using a great amount of magical energy. Anyways, it doesn't seem to match the sheath of Excalibur in the legend. I see. Well, if you say so. Then I have a question. You say King Arthur is immortal, so then how did he die? The legend ends with King Arthur's death, right? Huh? Tosaka opens her mouth, dumbfounded. After freezing for a few seconds, she grits her teeth and looks away. That's right. The sheath of Excalibur was stolen. Yeah, that's a simple mistake. I forgot about it too, but the fall of King Arthur started when he lost the sheath he should never have lost. So are you convinced now, Tosaka? Yeah, you can laugh at me if you want. She's lying. I can tell she intends to axe me if I laugh. It's fine if you understand, but why were you worried about it? It should be no concern of yours whether Saber can get hurt or not. Shut up! I just lost myself thinking she'd be invisible if that was the case. Even I make mistakes once in a while. Baka. This is hard. Would it be good for her if I correct her and point out that she makes mistakes often? Not just once in a while? I don't think it would be a good idea. You'd probably get stabbed. By the time the sun sets, the rain has stopped. Based on our conversation during breakfast, we should be going out into town to search for other masters after dinner, but I have to find out before that Saber's intentions. I need to know why she is fighting, but I can't ask her straight on. I have to try to ask her as indirectly as possible. I make my mind up, and I stand up. Let's go to the living room. I hope I'll be able to penetrate the fortress using the calm before dinner air as a shield. Just hypothetically, what should we do if we win the Holy Grail War? So, since I couldn't come up with any good ideas, I ask her directly. Huh? Huh? They all give the same response with different expressions. Talking about after we win. I'm saying that, what should we do if we win? You don't need to explain the question, but what's wrong? Why are you asking? Even though they don't nod, it seems like Saber and Elia have the same question. I guess it was unnatural to abruptly ask, but I have to play ignorant for now. Well, it just came to mind. There are only 3 servants left, so it's not that weird to start thinking about it, right? There's not much left now, and the end is near. Well, you're right. Even you'll start thinking about it in this situation, even though you didn't start this because you wanted to. I bet you're curious about the reward, since you're risking your life. Yeah, I'm curious. Thank God Tosaka likes to reason things out. I think one of Tosaka's good aspects is to consider anything as a possibility, if it sounds reasonable. Well, just in case, though. So, how about you, Tosaka? What will you do if you get the Holy Grail? Ask as naturally as I can. Let's see. I only really thought about winning, so there's nothing I wanted the Holy Grail to grant. I'll get it, but I haven't thought about anything after that. So she's fighting because she doesn't want to lose, huh? Well, I guess so, but I never really thought I'd be right. I'm stunned. You seem to be the one thinking the most, but you're actually the one who thinks the least. You're one to talk. And what about you, Eliasville? I don't know. I was just told that the Holy Grail is mine, so I shouldn't give it to anyone. Oh, God. Since it's mine to begin with, of course, I don't care about it. Oh, so you're saying the Holy Grail War is more fun than the Holy Grail? Of course. I only came to win. I don't care who uses the Holy Grail. Are they the same? The two glare at each other silently, and there seems to be a sympathy I can't understand. Saber doesn't say anything. She must not intend to join this conversation. But no matter how much Saber hates it, I must ask her this question now. I kind of understand your two's intentions. Try to nod naturally, and how about you, Saber? I asked Saber. Saber doesn't answer. I must have realized Saber's acting in a complicated manner as they both stare at each other. If I'm counting, there must be about a minute's silence. I do not need to say this, but it is my duty to obtain the Holy Grail. I do not know how powerful the Holy Grail is, but as long as it is the Holy Grail, I must obtain it. And of course, I would have my wish granted if it can grant it. She said it, without a doubt. Saber said she has her own wish. I see. Then what's your wish? I restrain my pounding heart and ask calmly. Saber doesn't answer. That's fine too. If she cannot answer, chances are good that her wish is a selfish one. Considering Saber's personality, she would hesitate to speak of a selfish wish. So I would prefer if she keep quiet and not tell me a ridiculous wish. Such whining fills my head. Is it that hard? Grandfather said the wish of the servants is to be resurrected into this world. Those servants seek the Holy Grail to live a second life. Isn't that the case for you, Saber? I raised my head at her words. There's no problem if that's Saber's wish, but... No, I have no interest in a second life. My goal is only to obtain the Holy Grail. I became a servant as a price to obtain the Holy Grail. I knew that had to be it. I knew the girl who took the oath pulling out the sword would not seek a second life. Hold on. You became a servant in exchange for obtaining the Holy Grail? You mean the contract when you became a heroic spirit? Yes. In exchange for becoming a servant, I seek the Holy Grail. What? Then you're not a servant summoned to obtain the Holy Grail, but you became a servant by your own will? She must be really surprised as she yells all this, then tilts her head, not believing her own words. So Saber wasn't summoned because she was a heroic spirit, but she joined this battle willingly? And as long as you're a servant, you're respected as a heroic spirit, so you can't interfere with this world deliberately. Then you're well beyond the servant's rule. No, that's not right. Jeez, hold on, I'll work this out. No, you do not need to do so. What you said is correct. I am different from the other servants. I have yet to become a complete servant. Not a complete servant? What does that mean? No, more importantly, what does it mean to become a servant? Saber said she agreed to become a servant as a price for obtaining the Holy Grail. That means that... Hold on. Could it be that the servants are forced to fight as the price for obtaining something? That's wrong. From the very beginning, servants are special familiars that exist only for the Holy Grail War. Servant is summoning magic that uses the special characteristics of the heroic spirits. They were originally heroic spirits, so they do not have any rules like, I was given bread, so I have to work. Yeah, the servant system uses heroic spirits, guardian spirits. They're using something that already exists, so there's no price for the masters of the servants to pay. But I've heard that before they become a servant, they need to pay a price to become a heroic spirit. Heroic spirits are guardians of the people, right? It's like they work for people even after they die to prevent the destruction of humanity and so on. So, to become this guardian, a living hero must take a contract with something. This is the contract of the heroic spirits, a ritual to give their existence to the world after they die. The ones who obtain riches from the exchange become heroes, and after they do whatever they want to as heroes and die, they become servants to pay for these riches. So in other words, they go into debt to become a hero and repay the debt when they die by becoming a heroic spirit. We summon servants by stilling the debt liability from the world. Huh. So humans become heroes by contracting with something. And they're summoned as heroic spirits after they die to pay for becoming a hero. Then the conditions of the exchange that Saber made is the Holy Grail. As Saber attained the Holy Grail in her life, she became a heroic spirit after she died as a price. That's not right. Saber says her objective is to obtain the Holy Grail, but she should have already obtained it, because she became a hero in exchange for the Holy Grail. No, Shiro, I have not yet attained the Holy Grail. Arturia, King Arthur's wish was to obtain the Holy Grail while she lived. I had to obtain the Holy Grail before I died. Well, that's interesting. So I agreed that I would become a heroic spirit after I died, if I could obtain the Holy Grail. As Reen said, humans make a contract with the world to become a hero, receive powers beyond human, and pay for it with life after death. But I did not need the help of the world to become a hero. Fortunately, King Arthur needed no support to become one. She didn't need support to become a hero, so Saber became a hero by her own powers. Huh. You're here as a heroic spirit. Does that mean King Arthur requested a different exchange from the world after he became a hero? Yes. I needed the Holy Grail in my final moments. I could not stand not having the Holy Grail. A wish appeared that I needed to have granted. That is why I made the contract of the heroic spirits. That if I could obtain the Holy Grail, I would wield my sword as a heroic spirit after my death. In her last moment, she wished for the Holy Grail's miracle. I understand how she feels. That bloody hill, a grave of many swords and the many corpses of knights. A lone king whose reign ended in betrayal. Her last moment was too unfair. Even if she had no wish of her own before then, she must have thought that, I can't die here. I didn't want an end like this. So, if she wishes to prolong her life, she shouldn't be embarrassed about it. I see. So you became able to obtain the Holy Grail by selling yourself off after death. But Saber, your condition was to obtain the Holy Grail while you were alive, right? Then, yes, I could not complete my search for the Holy Grail while I was alive. I, King Arthur, could not obtain the Holy Grail even at the very end. But the contract cannot be completed like that. For the world to obtain me as a servant, it must grant the Holy Grail while King Arthur is alive. So, King Arthur will not die until she obtains the Holy Grail. No, King Arthur cannot die. Then yes, time stopped for me, King Arthur, at the moment of death. According to the timeline, I should be already dead, but it will not be able to fulfill the contract that way. King Arthur is summoned as a servant and must die after she obtains the Holy Grail. So time itself isn't stopped, but you're stopped in time, huh? Doesn't matter how many times you repeat the fight as a servant, because the result of obtaining the Holy Grail and fulfilling your contract is determined. So, that is correct. Eventually, I will obtain the Holy Grail and fulfill the contract. That is why I cannot be summoned into many ages before I become a heroic spirit, on the condition that my becoming a heroic spirit is already determined. Not only the Holy Grail in this town. If there's a chance to obtain the Holy Grail, I will be summoned to any battlefield. And when I eventually obtain the Holy Grail and grant my wish, my stopped time shall start moving again. King Arthur will face death and become a heroic spirit as a price for obtaining the Holy Grail. So it's like having a dream you can't wake up from right before your death, huh? This Holy Grail is just one of those dreams for Saber. And you'll be able to wake up when you obtain the Holy Grail. Reen, you said that Shiro cannot turn me into spirit form because he is inexperienced. But that is wrong. I cannot become a spirit because I have not died yet. I am handled differently, but I am still classified as a living being. It was the same in the last Holy Grail War. Saber says so, as if she's apologizing. I guess because she was lying about being stuck in physical form because I was inexperienced. I don't really care about that. There's something more important that I have to ask her. Saber, what do you mean by you're not dead yet? I understand that you won't die until you obtain the Holy Grail. From the conversation, I understand that you haven't been alive since the time of King Arthur. But then, what are you right now? You're not a copy of the real body, right? No. Heroic spirits that are summoned are all like copies of the true body, but I have not yet reached that rank. Until I obtain the Holy Grail, I am called in the form of myself about to die. As Reen said, King Arthur is stopped in the river of time. I must jump forward or backward from that position, and return to that stopped point once I obtain the Holy Grail. There's a diagram of this! Okay, here we go. Past. The Battle of Camlin. Seat of the heroic spirits. See, King Arthur summoned. Future will be summoned. Okay. I mean, I get this. I already get what they're trying to say here. I don't need a diagram. Jesus Christ. I draw a diagram in my head. I see it's pretty simple once I visualize it. King Arthur is stopped at the moment before death. The flow of time doesn't care that she's stopped. It keeps flowing, and we're at the present. Return to your original time after summoning. She jumps to each time as needed and returns to her own time after completing her duty. Alright, there's some circles going around with this one now. If she obtains the Holy Grail in one of the times she visits, her time flow will again, and she will die, just like the history we know from today. The heroic spirit must exist like this. When they die, they are transferred to a place like a warehouse where time doesn't flow. They're making this intentionally more complicated than it should be right now. And they are summoned into various ages and disappear without returning. And they summon into various ages and disappear without... So that must be what they mean by heroic spirits being a copy. It's like a clone made from their DNA. The heroic spirit that has complete abilities and memories of when it was alive will appear in this world and learn many things. But it is useless. They have no way to return to the main body, but merely disappear. So no matter how many times they are summoned into the same age, there will be no inconsistencies in their memory. I assume the ones that become heroic spirits will not change anymore. Even if they obtain new knowledge, the self that learns it will just disappear once the duty is complete. In that regard, Saber isn't a complete servant, because Saber returns to her own time even after she is summoned, to the self that is about to die on that bloody hill. Hold on. Then, what? You're going to take it back to your time and use it if you obtain the Holy Grail? That's altering the past. Time travel and management of parallel universes is sorcery. There's no way you'll be able to do that. But the Holy Grail allows me to do this. I made a contract that I would become a servant if I can use the Holy Grail. The price being becoming a servant, even if it means the elimination of the person called Arturia. Saber talks without much interest. That's strange. Making a wish come true using the Holy Grail. That's fine. Why did she say Arturia would disappear as a result? What are you talking about? Arturia will disappear when she uses the Holy Grail. Don't mess around. Saber, you're that girl about to die quietly alone on that hill. Not going to use the Holy Grail to save yourself. What do you mean, Shiro? My only desire is to save my country from ruin. What? I can sense that my face is frozen. I should already have realized this, but my mind is spacing out and I feel like throwing up. Why? But still, I force my question out. It is obvious. I could not protect my country. I became king to protect the country, but I could not fulfill my duty. I thought at that time that perhaps the sword chose me by mistake. That's stupid. Why? No, I always had such doubts, but that I might not be the right king. That there was another hero who should have been chosen. At that time, when I pulled the sword out, there must have been a suitable king who would have been able to save the country. I could not. So if I could redo the selection of the king using the power of the Holy Grail, then what? Does she mean to say that her country would not have been destroyed if she returned to that time? I feel faint. I'm quickly surpassing mere anger that Saber would seriously wish for such a thing. I guess I'm dumbfounded right now. It's only natural. Saber's wish is not for herself, and on top of that, it means her elimination. The girl in front of me exists because that holy sword was there and because a king pulled it out. Preventing that would mean that the girl in front of me would not exist. Let's say she grants her wish using the Holy Grail. The girl Arturia, never becoming king, would live out her days as a knight. But what about the Saber in front of me? She is a heroic spirit. She will continue to be summoned to fight after her wish is granted. Since she paid a price to obtain the Holy Grail, Saber will continue to be, even if Arturia doesn't become king. Taken away from the future and from the past, she will forever be the lonely king dying on the hill. Ridiculous. I can't allow that. There's no salvation there. Even if she did redo everything, and there really is a more appropriate king, and her country lasts longer as a result, and even if she is saved, it's a lie. Even if everyone around her becomes happy, the 10 years she fought can't just disappear. No, you can't do that. You can't redo things. It's useless to even try. Shiro, don't use the Holy Grail for such a thing. You're going to obtain the Holy Grail by fighting yourself, right? So you should use that miracle for your own sake. As I have told you, I will be using it for myself. I, Arturia, must fulfill her duty as a king. So why don't you understand? Don't be ridiculous. You've already fulfilled more than your duty. You fought that much already. You didn't give up even when you were betrayed or feared. You didn't let go of your sword until the very end on that hill. So why? Why did you have to keep such promises even after you die? Saber is astonished. Oh, it's too late to regret what I've said. I shouldn't have admitted that I see Saber's past in my dreams. A heavy silence. There are no words to give her, nor any words to reply. I can sense that anything I say will backfire in this situation. But still, I can't just stay silent. Saber, I don't like it when people aren't rewarded for their hard work. It's meaningless that way, and it's just too unfair. I know it's a childish ideal, but I want to believe that people will get happier the more they work for it. I won't lose to the other masters. I will obtain the Holy Grail for sure. So please, grant your own wish. If you do, I'll actually be able to find some meaning in this stupid war. That's the conclusion I've reached. I don't know what the Holy Grail is, nor if it's right to obtain it. But if Saber will be saved even a little, I'll be able to try with all my powers. What just happened? The loud bell rings out and the house falls into darkness. The surrounding air changes immediately. Even though the light suddenly went off, nobody says a thing and tries to feel the surroundings. The loud ring stops and the living room is silent, but the sound of light things rubbing against each other can be heard in the distance. Was that alarm that boundary field on this house? I nod silently. This sound is the same as when Lancer intruded, and this must be. The sounds are increasing and coming closer. A strange sound. It reminds me of bugs crawling around a light trap. The This living room is the only place free of the sound. It hasn't been a minute yet since the lights went out, but the living room is surrounded by this unknown sound. An enemy? But even for a servant, there's too many of them. I'm a magus too, even if I'm a bad one. I can sense that many sources of magical energy surrounding this place. Skimming quickly, I can at least count 20, but they are strangely light. I don't feel any human will. The things making the sounds are like empty puppets. Oh, so they did come. They were running away all this time, but they come out as soon as Berserker is gone. Really, this servant is a schemer. Oh, unlike the three of us who are all tense, Elia is strangely calm. You can tell, Elia? Of course, I can sense any servant. The one outside is Castor, and there are lots of other things out there too. No, they're just cheap golems bound by dragon's teeth. Elia says simply, and the sound stops at the same time. I take the wooden sword I keep in the living room. Tosaka and Saber seem to be waiting for me to make a move. Let's just go ahead and save. Let's let Saber take care of Castor and protect the other two here. Well, Reen can protect herself, so I'm just gonna. God, I don't know. Well, I saved, so let's just go with Saber. It's clear who the enemy is. If the enemy servant, if Castor is attacking with troops, there's only one thing to do. It's no good just staying here. Saber, come with me. Tosaka, protect Elia. What? No, I don't want to look after Reen. I don't like it either, but you said you listen to what Shiro says, so obey him politely. I don't care. I'll be more helpful than Saber. Tosaka binds Elia's arm behind her back and puts her hand over Elia's mouth. Elia continues to throw out insults. I imagine it sounds something like... Elia's wacky. She's great. I know. I'll protect Elia. You two go and get Castor while I do so. I'm depending on you, but don't work too hard. Think more about escaping than beating the enemy. Tosaka nods back, telling me I don't even need to say it. Turning my back on Tosaka, I hurry out the hallway leading to the porch. Saber. I know. I will protect Shiro. Nodding back to Tosaka, Saber follows me. Hey! Look, it's bone soldiers. These things look creepy as fudge. They're in my house! Get them out of my house! In that moment, I doubt my own eyes. The sword has swung down on me. An unavoidable strike attacks me, aiming for my open head. I avoid it by twisting my body and parrying instantly with my wooden sword. I can't believe it myself. My body reacted as soon as my mind understood I was going to die. It attacks me the second time without hesitation. A smooth, mechanical movement. A wasteless, accurate attack. But that's all. It's just accurate and it's not refined nor scary. The attack looks foolish compared to those of Saber, and it feels like the touch of a feather compared to Berserker's. I repelled the attack with my back to the wall, and in the space I retreated through. Saber's lightning strike smashes down. Shiro, are you alright? As you can see, I was scared, but I made it. Do not say you made it. You must follow me in a situation like this. Please be cautious from now on. I like how she smiled for a moment there. It's really nice. Saber scolds my carelessness. She's right, but I just didn't want to be following after her. Shiro, are you listening to me? Yeah, I'm listening, but what was that? There's nothing in the hallway. The strange thing that was blown away by Saber's attack has vanished like an illusion. As Eliasfield said, they are warriors made by using a monster's body as a catalyst. It seems more like a golem than an automaton, but the quality is low. There should be no problem even if we are surrounded by such things. Where were they hiding? No. When did they get this far in? Those things, like bad building blocks, are gathering with spider-like movements. And on top of that, they aren't the only presence I feel. Many more bones are surrounding this mansion. Shiro, to your side! I jump away from the wall instantly. Damn. I slash at the bones sliding up on me. After that, Saber smashes away the bones to protect my back. Bones move in with loose movements and all attack in the same way. It's not hard to repel them, but the house gets destroyed by every attack. No, and I only have a wooden sword. Even with the strengthening magic on it, it won't last too much longer. And I don't want to think about it, but the numbers of these bone creatures might be infinite. We might continue this skirmish until we collapse. Damn, where the hell are they coming from? I complain with my back to Saber. Not many bone creatures are coming from me. They must be coming from inside the house as well, but most of them are coming in from the yard. Saber is slashing away the ones coming in from there. Their goal is the living room. As Ilya and Tosaka are in the living room, Saber is busy dealing with the ones heading there. Saber readies her sword again. Her sword isn't invisible now. Maybe there's no need to hide it. But the golden sword is glowing to show off its true power. Can I just say... Come on, finish your text. This game, its art really does hold up. Like, it really, some of it doesn't, but a lot of it does. This, for example, does. Hold on, Saber, don't use Excalibur. I don't care if my house gets blown away. Well, I do mind, but there's other houses around here. You should know what'll happen if you use it. I yell while parring away bones in front of me. I will obey if it is your order, but it is too troublesome to face such a great number of enemies. We shall be put in danger if we do not sweep them all away. I know, they're like familiars, right? Then we'll get the whole army if we get the one controlling them. Saber, can you search for Castor's presence? I do not even need to search. Castor is out in the yard. Seems Castor is luring us as the presence is not concealed. I don't care, let's fall for the temptation. We'll tire out first if we continue like this. I do not mind. Then shall we go attack Castor? The yard is right there. If Castor's in the yard, it shouldn't be too hard to get there, but that means losing the defense. It's fine now since Saber's here, but the defenses holding the bone creatures off will go away once Saber goes out to the yard. I should. Believe in Tosaka. Let Saber take care of Castor. God, I don't know. It's a trap, man. It's a total trap, right? And we shouldn't. Oh God, Tosaka knows more. She does. She did say try to find a way to escape. But if we take, God, okay. I need to stop thinking how I think. I need to start thinking the way Kirito or Shiro would think, and he would believe in his waifus. I believe Shiro would believe in his waifus, and one of Shiro's waifus is definitely Tosaka, no doubt about it. Well, I saved, so. The sound of glass breaking. I hear sounds of fighting in the living room. Shiro, please, give me an order. There is no time to be indecisive. I know. Either way, we're making the situation worse by delaying the decision. We'll get Castor. I told Tosaka to take care of Ilya. Then let us go. Master, I will entrust you with my back. I bet you will. Saber runs, smashing away the swarming bone creatures. It looks like a snowplow driving through snow. The bone warrior, Mr. Plow. The bone warriors vanish without even being able to approach Saber. Are they like snowflakes? There's so many scattering bones that I feel like I'm in a snowstorm. Man, she told me I had her back, but there's no need to protect her like this. She more than makes me realize how great a swordsman she is. Saber charges without doubt. The foundation for all these bones, to defeat the unseen sixth servant that has invaded this mansion. Saber stops. The swarming warriors cannot be seen anymore. This must be the end as someone is standing there. A distorted figure. The figure, wearing some kind of robe, cannot be seen as if only that spot is smudged in black. Oh. Oh, that's badass. Caster is also one of my favorites. Just because I don't know who Caster's master is quite yet. I need to figure out who Caster's master is. Caster's master! A black shadow. I'm assaulted by an unknown unease the instant I look at it. So, you are Saber. I see. You are certainly capable of defeating Berserker. My troops will not even slow you down. The figure snickers. It seems the thing in black is the master of the bone creatures. Servant Caster. But no master. I don't see any sign of a master near the figure. Is Caster the same as Lancer? The type to take action away from their master? You. Is your contract gone? Saber asks unpleasantly. Yes, he was not a suitable master for me, so I made him disappear. I don't know what kind of expression the black robe is making, but Caster answers in a cold voice. Master killer. Then your master is already dead, but there is no problem with that, Saber. We are soul eaters, correct? There is an abundance of magical energy sources. All that remains is... Yes, if I obtain the Holy Grail, there will be no more worries for me. So you wish for revival into this world as well? I do not know which heroic spirit you are, but you threw away your pride for that? Oh, so you do not feel that working for humans is throwing away your pride? I just could not stand that. I do not wish to be anyone's servant, so I just became the user. You have no grounds to criticize me. I would assume so. I also have no interest in your ill acts. Saber's body inclines a little. There's only about 10 meters to Caster. Saber should be able to close in on Caster in under one breath and slash Caster away. How dangerous I tried to come and talk, but you act like there is nothing to talk about. I went easy on you, you know. I have nothing to talk to you about, die here in grace. Saber intends to kill Caster. I won't oppose. I can only smell blood on Caster. I bet what Caster said about killing her master is true. I guess you could say Caster killed Caster's master. Ha! Oh, dub-isms. This raid was also intended to kill everyone here. So there's no reason to stop Saber. First of all, Caster won't even be a match for Saber. I can sense Caster's ability. Caster is the weakest when it comes to one-on-one combat. In this situation, Caster can do nothing but fall to Saber. Don't do it, Saber. But I can't shake off this strange unease. This isn't like the hopeless premonition of death, like with Berserker. It must be psychological hatred or an alarm against something bad. My left hand throbs as if to tell me that Saber shouldn't go near that thing. I hesitate too long. Saber jumps and sprints to the black shadow. Oh, shit. Oh, I gotta look at her design. Pretty much the same as in the anime. Actually fairly accurate. Incredibly accurate. The distorted shadow smiles. Caster doesn't seem to be panicking about the approaching Saber. I don't know what that says. Is that some Bible Black speak right there? Caster says something in a language I can't hear and casts something that appeals to the brain more than the words. The world distorts in that instant. Ah! No, the density of the air changes only around Saber. What? Oh, shit. A huge impact. The ground sinks, and it seems like something large came crashing down onto Saber. No way. Casting magic without any actions? No, there was a murmur, like a spell. Spells can indeed be shortened. The easier the magic, the shorter one can reduce the spell to change the self. But what's occurring before me is a great magic. No magus can express that in one word. Even if it is possible, they'd have to prepare a catalyst beforehand like Tosaka does. But still, Castor executed great magic with just one murmur. Castor isn't just on a different level. If that was Castor's magic, that figure is no near magus. Saber! Saber is frozen on the spot. Her leg froze as if kicked off the ground. She is bound in space right now. No, the air surrounding her is transformed into something like clear gelatin. Even if I try to approach her, I'm pushed away by an invisible soft membrane. It seems that this is only around Saber, but as long as her feet are not on the ground, Saber cannot move. I guess you took me too lightly, Saber. I do not know how good the Magi in your age were, but I have lived in the age of gods. My magic must look like sorcery for Magi in these times. A laugh comes from the black robe. Saber is still bound in space. Smug? Smug Saber? Smug Saber? Is Smug Saber about to win the day? Here? Is this what's about to happen? She's gonna kill Castor with her smugness? I love it. Smug Saber is now the best Saber. Move out of the way, can we do a power ranking of Sabers? Like, I think Smug Saber is above Poncho Saber right now. Definitely. Kawaii Saber may still be number one, though. I see. Or, you know what? Maybe, like, I don't know. I see. So this is really all you are capable of, Castor. Oh, shit. She's calling her out. She spits those words out. Magic resistance. It repels even my magic? The black robe retreats. After canceling Castor's magic in an instant, Saber dashes with lightning speed. But I... Don't do it, Saber. That timing... She got it! That timing, she got it! She got that timing. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it, Saber. That timing, she got it. I don't know what that means. We haven't really tested... God. So, okay, I'm still I always get caught up into thinking how I want to think here. And I realize I can't think that way. I have to think the ways of Shiro. I have to pretend I have a waifu army. Okay. What would I do? So I don't want any of my waifus to die. That would be bad. I need all of my waifus alive. Because I am Shiro. I'm very idealistic. I have body pillows of the waifus that I have in real life. I don't know. God. Okay, pick a random one. Well, I guess you can't pick a random one since I kind of know. All right. Just spinning my mouse. My mouse landed closer to the Don't Do It Saber one. God. I feel like I've guessed a lot. I've guessed a lot of these correctly just because I'm guessing like Shiro would guess. So let's do it. I really don't want to like get a bad ending right now. And I know I was kind of told recently in one of my videos it's okay to get bad endings because, you know, whatever. But I want this to be like a playthrough where people can watch and be like, all right, this is like the full thing. And also, I kind of believe Don't Do It, Saber, so. Saber raises her sword. She is already within striking distance. No! Don't do it, Saber! but I run to Saber as if driven by the pulse of my heart. What? Saber suddenly stops. It's not that Castor did something. Saber felt something from Castor and stopped herself. You. Saber instantly tries to dodge it, but Castor must have hid something in the ground as I knew it! As hands of bone burst out of the ground and grasp Saber's feet. I was not expecting you to have instinct foresight, but this is it, Saber. A blade emerges from Castor's black robe. Oh. Oh, is that the spear of I don't know. It's a weirdly shaped dagger. It's thin and brittle, a blade not suitable for killing. But Saber detests this blade, and Castor swings it as if this is her chance for victory. Saber must be surprised, getting her feet grabbed from the ground. She does not even repel the dagger and takes it in astonishment. You! Oh. That's... What? I can hear Castor's voice behind me. I can see what the robe's expression is like. All I could do was stand in front of Saber and take the blade in her place. But it wasn't a good job. I didn't have enough confidence to block Castor's dagger straight on. So I figured out it would be more certain if I covered Saber and held my arm, and I held her in my arms as if to hide her. As a result, Castor's dagger wrenched open my back. I stopped myself from crying because of the pain and strengthened my grip on Saber. Bro? I can't tell what the words are being said beside my ear. Get away, Saber! Go back! Wounded back! Ow! Before I can tell her to jump away, Saber must have understood. My body moves. Saber jumps back as if I have to shake off the hands coming from the ground, and I'm carried with her. Shiro, your wound! Saber's voice is urgent. Even though she laid me on the ground softly, the pain in my back just increases. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bad sync, everybody! Serious business when your TV's messing up. It's like having my back cut with scissors, then having lead driven into it. Oh, God. From this pain, it feels like a cell phone is being pushed in the wound. What does that feel like, having a cell phone being pushed in the... I don't know. The cell phones were much bigger back in 2004, I can tell you that. Much more clunky. Smartphones weren't the rage back then. Shiro, please hold on. Shiro! Good voice acting, Z Tactics. I guess she's not panicking, but the loud voice rare for Saber makes me rather calm. Hey, I can hear you even if you don't shout. This just hurts, so it's nothing. Take care of Castor instead. Nodding my head, I point at where Castor should be. Yes, I will finish things right away. Please hold on for a little while. Saber faces Castor once again. So that is your noble phantasm, Castor. Saber's voice sounds threatening. The dark shadow clucks her tongue in irritation, and raises the warped dagger in her hand. Well, that is a seductive pose, if I've ever seen one. Perfect for a thumbnail, I think. Yes, I do. Yes, it is blunt, as you can see, and it cannot kill even one person. But as you have sensed, it is a calm, magical charm said to be almighty in one aspect. If you do not wish to touch it, I suggest that you do not come near me, Saber. Even though she says so, I can sense less composure in Castor than before. Even as powerful as Castor is, as long as she uses magic, she won't be able to hurt Saber. No matter what kind of a noble phantasm that dagger is, it won't do any good against Saber now. You should be able to beat her without a problem now. I order her, gritting my teeth. Oh, is that fine, Saber? You can certainly corner me, but who will protect that man while you do so? I do not think I need to say this, but you are the only one that is immune to my magic. Can you not guess what I will do to that body? That boy, if I'm cornered? I'm getting a lot of Bible Black vibes from Castor right now. You, Saber says from the bottom of her lungs. The sound of the bones increases. They surround us. Damn, I made a mistake. Even if I could save Saber, it's pointless if I'm hurt like this. I'll only be a burden like this. If it was just Saber, Castor wouldn't even be a match for her. So, you said you came here to talk, Castor. What? Saber? Please do not say anything, Master. This is the right choice for now. Saber lowers her sword. I think I can hear Castor laughing amidst the surrounding sounds of bones. I shall listen to you, Castor. I may let you go deepening on your conditions. Depending. Jesus Christ. Are you sane? I hold your life in my hands. If you act so boldly, I might just crush you. Do not get me wrong. All you have is my master's life, not mine. But, if you assault that, I will not hold back. If you are to kill my master, I will be sure to defeat you with everything I have before I disappear. The air freezes. Even the bones around Castor are cowed by Saber's words. Fine. I will not do anything to that boy. My target was you to begin with. There is nothing wrong with releasing a master or two. I was your target to begin with? Right. There is no reason to ignore a hero that can even defeat Berserker. The only remaining servants are me, you, and Lancer. If you become my ally, Lancer is nothing. There are 3 left. Then Assassin is already defeated? Who knows? He is not here anymore, so I assume he was defeated. It is only natural for a servant who cannot protect their master to disappear. Assassin was beaten? Then the master at Ryudo Temple is no more? I didn't even know his identity, but that means another master has disappeared. The only remaining servants are Saber, Castor, and Lancer, who has not shown himself since the first night. This is the only useless talk I will engage in. All I want is your noble phantasm. Give me your sword if you do not want your master killed. That is useless. I am the only one who is able to use this sword. A heroic spirit must surely know that only the possessor of a noble phantasm may use it. Oh, you are right. Then in that case, I will just obtain you as well. However superior the knight, I can persuade it to be on my side, and more than anything, I like you. It would be fun to control you. Castor sounds really delighted. My lacerated consciousness boils up. I kick the pain in my back aside and get up. Don't be ridiculous. I can't let Saber fall under Castor's control just because of me. I decide to protect Saber, so I can't stay down with this kind of a wound. I take the wooden sword in my hand and swing at the bone creatures surrounding me. No, Shiro! Saber's voice sounds urgent. Oh! That's cool. That's cool. Oh. If you want to commit suicide, I won't stop you. Castor sounds delighted. The sound of many bones hitting against each other, as if to nullify all of those sounds. What was that? All the bone creatures are swept away instantly by a heavy rain of arrows. What? I stand there dumbfounded. The arrows that shower down like rain have disappeared as if they were an illusion. But it cannot be an illusion. The swarming bone creatures do not exist anymore. Who is it? Castor looks up. Saber must have already noticed this guy. Saber is looking up at the thing on top of the wall with surprise. Now, who is this cute boy? I mean, I know who this cute boy is, but the viewer paying attention may not. There's something unexpected there. The man with his back to the moon is golden. The man clad in gold is looking down at the yard with a cruel smile. Who? She must have instinctively realized that he has destroyed her troops as Castor raises her voice. The man doesn't answer. No, he hasn't even taken notice of Castor. He is only looking at one person. The Silver Knight beside me. Answer! I am asking! Answer! I am asking you who you are! Castor's voice sounds emotional. And with that, the man finally looks at Castor. Castor gasps, stared at by those red eyes. The man stares so cold. That thing isn't treating Castor as human. Even I can tell from here. It's only natural for Castor, the target of that stare, to be terrified by that pressure. Why are you getting in my way? She asks in a trembling voice. She must know she'll be swallowed if she doesn't do so, but... I have no reason to name myself to a mongrel. Get out of my sight, you fool. The man answers with a verdict of death. A snap. When I realize the sound is of his fingers snapping, the tragedy has already begun. Many weapons suddenly appear in space and shoot at Castor like a machine gun. Castor raises her arm. Concept of a shield. A film-like glass is created right above Castor. It probably has strength equaling Berserker's body. But was it useless because it was made of glass? Built like a crystal, it cannot even block one of the showering weapons and shatters into pieces. Huh? A dumbfounded voice. Without showing any concern for Castor's question, they pierce the black robe. There's no mercy at all. The robe is pierced by lances. As the robe is blown away, more lances pierce it. The sword into her falling body, an arrow into the arm falling to the ground, and the axe into her pained head. Each becomes a deadly guillotine. Survival is impossible. Castor is completely cut apart and dismantled, and she now looks like a mountain of red meat. Wind blows. The black robe who lost its master floats away. Floating away. The shredded robe still barely keeps its form. Now it is all that remains of what used to be Castor. Damn. I can't say anything. My strained mind just watches the black robe floating miserably in the wind. In that instant... How insolent. I told you to get out of my sight. It should only be polite to kill yourself quickly. The golden man roars in a voice full of contempt. What? It's not an illusion. The black robe twists like a wave, grows black wings, and tries to fly away. Oh. But it's too late. I don't know what the man did. It's just that a crack ran through the night sky. The dislocation in the sky swallows the black robe. It reminds me of someone getting run over by a steamroller. The black robe falls. Underneath it is Castor, unscathed. There. Oh, this is not good for Castor. The storm of swords shower onto her. The screams echo through the night. The swords multiply in response to the scream, and the scream gets louder in turn. Well, it hurts! Take it out! It hurts! Take it out! Please! Castor must have regenerative powers like Saber. She cannot die even when swords are stabbed into her, so her figure is just too miserable. The rain doesn't stop. The weapons each differ in shape, and none of them are the same. And I don't want to admit it, but each one of those weapons equal the noble phantasms of the servants. No, this cannot be such a ridiculous number. The merciless reign of noble phantasms. Castor struggling under it is just. Am I dying? I'm going to die? Die in such ridiculous fashion? No, this is too funny. No, this is not true. I'm not gonna laugh. And that ends. Definitely ends. The black mist hiding Castor, the servant disappears. The infinite cycle of torture that I thought would last forever lasted only about 10 seconds. Through it all, Saber stares at the Golden Knight standing on top of the wall. Huh. It is a great sin for a mere magus to even speak of capturing the King of Knights. It is really mine, as I am the king. Such a skewering befits a fool pursuing the king's treasure. So, long time no see, Saber. Do you remember the decision I made? The man says in an intimate manner. Saber doesn't answer, but her glare is different from before. Why that face? Are you still not ready? It has been 10 years. That should be enough time to decide. Oh well, that's only for me. It must be like yesterday for you. Jeez, what a silly woman. Making a man wait. The man laughs happily. My chest is hurting. Partly from seeing that tragedy, but more than that, I feel sick when that man looks down on Saber with such a ridiculous expression. So there are more mongrels left. Commenting unhappily, the man turns to the mansion. There, on the porch in front of the living room, are Ilya and Tosaka. What is that? Ilya is looking up at the man as if she's seen a ghost. Straining her eyes, she shakes her head, saying it's impossible. No. Who are you? Huh? Fool, you cannot tell. I am one of the heroic spirits you know so well. Liar! Ilya jumps off the porch and glares at the man. I don't know. I don't know you. A servant I don't know about shouldn't exist. I wouldn't do it, Ilya. Hold on, Ilya! My call to restrain her comes too late. Oh, Jesus. The cluster of magical energy Ilya releases shoots straight for the man. A clanging sound. The man didn't do anything. A mirror-like shield appeared in front of him and reflected Ilya's magical energy shot. Huh? As she fired the magical energy in anger, there's no way she can react to it. Ilya stands dumbfounded before the magical energy she fired. Ah, Tosaka! She's reenacting King Arthur to save us! That hurts. She is barely saved by Tosaka, who instantly blocked it. Huh, I see. But it's a strange hybrid this time. I assume they have schemed a bit so not to make the same mistakes as last time. That man looks at Ilya. A cold stare like one directed at Saber. A stare prizing possession. No. I hate you. Ilya stares at the man pinned by Tosaka. I do not care about your circumstances. Open it quickly. You are the fifth one. The man speaks plainly. What kind of effect does it have? Ah, no. Ilya shakes violently and faints. That's it. That's all that'll happen. All Tosaka and I can do is look up at that man. We both understand. He isn't looking at us. We would just share Castor's fate if we raised our voices. But Saber is different. She is staring at the Gold Knight in a different kind of silence. Why? Are you still in this world, Archer? Saber tries to control her voice. Tosaka and I can only be shocked by her words. There need be no reason. The Holy Grail is mine. What is wrong with coming to collect? How foolish. You are not a hero like that. No, first of all. Stop. If you say any more, we will have to fight. Well, that was my original intention, but I lost interest. This place is too shabby to celebrate our reunion. Saying so, the man turns away. He turns his back as if saying he has no interest in us. We shall meet again sometime. My decision has not changed since that time. Be prepared by the time our next meeting. The man disappears. With that, the tension in the air vanishes, and the yard returns to its usual silence. That's the only thing that returned. My home is ruined, and Elia is unconscious. Saber, keeping her back to us, still bears that heavy silence.